Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is the Locked Up Sports Weekend Wrap-Up. We got a big one for you here today. The Jets bring in a quarterback. Is he the answer? Is he the answer to replace Zack Wilson? The Jets coach, Robert Saleh, continues to go down with the ship as he continues to support his inept quarterback. Coach Prime suffers a big loss, a blowout loss over the weekend, and baseball postseason right around the corner. We also speak with Mark Mancini and Correction Officer Carlos Sanchez. All that and more coming up next on the Locked Up Sports Weekend Wrap-Up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show inside the Brian Gunzel Studios. I'm Bob Walters. Thank you for tuning in, as always. And like I said, we got a big one for you here today. The Jets. Let's start with the Jets. Okay, we all saw it. It was a disaster. We're going to talk about it. I got a big Jets fan, correction officer, my buddy, coming on in just a little while. He's going to talk about it. And listen, he's going to say exactly what all Jets fans feel. And everybody that has seen the game or seen this Zack Wilson play feels and says, except for Robert Saleh. And I don't know why he's going down with the ship. I don't know what game he watched where he could get up on Monday in front of the podium, in front of the press, in front of New York, and sit there and say something like this.
No, one thing I'm going to give him credit for is that he had a turnover-free game yesterday. He had no turnover-worthy throws from my recollection. And because of that, we were in position and had the ball at midfield with 1:40 to go and 2 timeouts to go win the game, because we played a clean game of football on the offensive side of the ball, and were able to win the field position battle in the second half. So you can never be too boring, in my opinion, when you have the ball in your hands.
It doesn't get any more boring than the Jets were. First of all, he's lying to you because, yeah, he didn't turn the ball over, but he doesn't trust him. Because the game plan, we all saw the game plan. It was dinks and dunks, 3-yard passes. They run Garrett Wilson across the field every once in a while to satisfy him and get him the ball, but it would all be underneath. He can't pull the trigger, okay? And, yeah, you're right. He didn't turn the ball over, and your defense got you the ball back at the 40-yard line with a minute and a half left, 2 timeouts. A dream situation. The momentum all in your favor. And what did he do? He did this. Look at these plays. Look at these plays from this kid. This is somebody who does not know how to play the position. He's in the pocket. There's people open. Throws that one, not even close. Outside the sideline. Second down then. Here comes second down. Okay, we just got to get a couple yards, make it a manageable third down. What does he do? Not even close. Those are 5 yards over the wide receiver, out of bounds. So now you get the third down. So now you're starting to get worried if you're a Jets fan. What are we going to do here? This kid, can he get us here? And look what he does. He goes and he throws a check down, a 1-yard pass. Even if he caught it, it's not going to do anything. And now fourth down with the game on the line, he does this, and he checks it down, a 3-yard check down to the tight end with the game on the line, and it was over. The best pass he threw all day was the Hail Mary at the end of the game. He is incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing back there. He can't make decisions. He's got zero pocket presence. He can't feel the rush. He checks everything down to the safest possible play, and he still screws that up most of the time. Half the time he can't pull the trigger. Listen, someone's got to tell this kid, and it's the NFL. In the NFL, you don't get people running free 2-3 steps open. Okay? It's a very tight window in the NFL. You get a half a step on the guy that's covering you, that is open. And I could sit here and I could show you the all 22 of a ton of plays where there were receivers a full step, sometimes even more, open, and he just couldn't pull the trigger. And you could see he wants to throw it, but he doesn't know, should I throw it? He is incompetent at the position. Jets have a good team. Jets have a good defense. Jets have a good running game, although Dalvin Cook is finished. I don't need to see Dalvin Cook anymore because he's mailed it in now. It seems to me like he came to play with Rodgers. Rodgers went down. He said, now he's not interested because he's certainly not the 4-time Pro Bowler that we've seen the last 4 years, or even last year when he was already on the decline. So the Jets can, but nobody's even talking about that because the quarterback and Zack Wilson is so bad, and you couldn't believe that the coach said that. And then he comes back And he says this, and he backs it up. He doubles down on it the next day, and he says this.
Issues continue to struggle, and the all 22 film continues to show a quarterback who's really struggling. Is his leash shorter now than it was when he took over for Aaron Rodgers, or is he your unquestioned quarterback the rest of this year?
He's our unquestioned quarterback, guys. Like, as long as he continues to show the way his preparation, the way he's been practicing, and even in these games, guys, like, he's not the reason why we lost yesterday. It's always a team effort. And as long as he continues to show improvement, and I know it's not from a box score standpoint, it's not showing anything. It's not showing. He's going to be our quarterback.
What? He's your quarterback? This guy's going to lose his job. He's going to follow Zack Wilson right into the ground, and he's going to lose his job, and he's going to lose his chance at a year or 2 years possibly with Aaron Rodgers, one of the great quarterbacks of all time, because for some reason he is up there lying to everybody because he can't believe that, right? He can't believe that it's getting better, but you can't see it. It's better. I know nobody sees it, but it's better. Trust me. He can't believe that, and if he does believe that, he shouldn't be a head coach of a peewee football team because he clearly just doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm not even a Jets fan, and it's pulling your hair out. Listen to this and watching that game. You imagine if you went to that game, an hour in the park, waiting in traffic to get into the parking lot, sitting in the rain, drinking beers in the parking lot hours before the kickoff. You go in there and you get that for a couple $100, and then as your prize for watching that, you get to sit in the MetLife parking lot for 2 hours, and then on 95 heading back to New York for another hour and a half. I mean, God bless them. What a disaster. You got some nerve to sit up there at that podium and say, he's getting better. He's our quarterback. He's your quarterback? Good luck. Now, the day after he said that today, they have brought in Trevor Siemian, who, I mean, listen, Trevor Siemian's not getting you anywhere anyway, but he might not embarrass himself. Maybe they look at Dalvin Cook now, and we can still look at Dalvin Cook and be like, what the hell are you doing? Because you're mailing it in too. But the fact that Zack Wilson is so bad, and the coach is sitting there going, it's getting better. We all saw it. I know you don't see it. It's it's a mirage, but it's getting better. When are we going to see it, coach? When are we going to see it? Because from here, it looks like garbage. It looks like someone who doesn't know what he's doing. It looks like someone who can't get a first down. It looks like someone playing a mediocre to bad New England team that has 3 cornerbacks out, and he can't get a first down. It looks like somebody who got the ball on the 40-yard line, perfect position, 2 timeouts, plenty of time, and went 4 plays and not even close on a single one of them. Not even close. And I'm not even a Jets fan, and I'm pissed off. I can't even imagine what the Jets fans are thinking. And we're going to talk to one in a little while. Good buddy of mine. But first, let's start with Mark Mancini, right? He's back. Where'd he go? He's been gone for like 3 weeks. We're going to find out where he went. And we're going to talk some baseball with him because, you know what? The baseball's getting real good. This week through October is when baseball's time to shine. Because it is as good as anything. Every pitch matters. The slowness of the game becomes a plus for it because it builds momentum. In October, everything is better. It's bigger. Every pitch matters. Every at-bat matters. It's great drama. And if you're a baseball fan, you love this, and it sucks for the Mets fans, and it sucks for the Yankee fans because we're not in it this year, and we were supposed to be there, but it is what it is. We've come to terms with that a month or so ago. We've made our peace with that, and now we can just enjoy some good baseball. So let's welcome in Mark Mancini. Here's my interview with Mark Mancini. Enjoy the interview. All right, so now we'd like to welcome in our old friend, Mark Mancini. Mark, it's been a few weeks. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually found myself missing you a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, man? Look at my Pirates, baby. I know we started out with the Pittsburgh thing, and I'm feeling pretty giddy, baby. I mean, when I look at the standings, I have a better record than you guys
Yep.
and the Angels, two high-priced teams there. So, I mean, we're not going to get to 500 in Pittsburgh, but I think it's a successful season, and we're in the right direction. And who knows, if we had O'Neill Cruz and company, we'd probably be something. But, hey, how about the Steelers, baby? We're pulling out some gritty wins.
The Steelers played the Steelers got a win on Sunday night. For anyone that didn't see, it was a sloppy game. There was a lot of penalties and stuff. But this week is now where I'll get geared back into baseball, because now it gets good. And if you look at the, I know you're a Dodger trasher, and we'll get to that in a second, but it's now you got a ton of races going on. It's really tight right now. This is what it would look like if the playoffs started today. Now, there's big games all over the place. You got the Mets playing big games against the Marlins this weekend. You got Texas and Seattle is going to be wild, because Texas and Seattle the Rangers swept Seattle over this past weekend. They're right there neck and neck with each other. Seattle is behind them. They play each other 4 times in a 4-game series to end the season. And it's gonna be a great series. That's gonna be like a win or go home type of situation over the weekend. I love baseball when it's like this, when every pitch matters. It's so good.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. The Rangers have hit 10 home runs in 2 games. They hit 6 on Sunday. They hit 4 yesterday. They're starting to get their stroke back. Bruce Bochy's the kingpin there, and that'll be to see how far they go. Bruce Bochy knows how to prepare teams for playoff runs. We've seen that everywhere he's been. Now, on the other side of it, you might say Houston and Minnesota, would play Texas, but Minnesota hasn't won a playoff in I don't know how many years.
Yeah, but the Yankees aren't in it this year. They always lose to the Yankees.
Well, and look at on the other side of the coin, the Dodgers sitting there with a Gladys Knight in the pitching rotation, only Kershaw there, no Gonsolin, no May, no Bueller. When you look at this thing, Urias is not around. Good luck. And, the excuses will come out here in a couple of weeks why we lost. We were injured. We were this. You're just a regular season champ. No way are you going to beat Milwaukee or Chicago in that first round.
Oh, there it is. They're not even, there's the Mark Mancini, Dodger hating Pittsburgh man that I missed. Now I think I love rooting for the under. My team, I'm going to adopt the Orioles this year. And I'm I'm a Mets fan, so I have to adopt a team. So going in the Orioles, and I'd love to see the Reds kind of get a surge here in the last weekend and make a push and get into this thing. But they seem to be fading a little bit. But the Marlins are playing the Mets. I want to root for the Marlins. I want to see the Marlins get in it. They're just behind them. But I think the Orioles have a good shot to make a run and get into the Fall Classic from the American League.
Well, a lot of people are getting on that Oriole wagon. They've had a great year, but you need experience. And that ball feels a lot heavier come postseason. They haven't been there in quite a few years. So, the Blue Jays, Tampa got a little experience there where they can kind of swing it to their, side a little. But in the National League, man, let me tell you, the Phillies, the Cubs, the Brewers, if the Padres or the Giants can figure out to get in there, watch out. These teams have been playing playoff baseball for about 4 weeks now. And the Dodgers and the Braves have taken their foot off the gas because they've won the division pretty much by double digits. So keep your eye. You can't just turn it on. Remember 2019? Nobody saw the Washington Nationals coming.
Yeah, and nobody saw the Phillies coming last year.
Everybody, now that we know, and I'll take a quote from Bill North, now that we know who's going to get there, the National League Championship, we might as well just let everybody know that it'll be the Braves and the Dodgers. All we have to do is play the game.
Yeah, listen, that's what they said last year.
Now we're going to find out.
That's what they said last year. And you don't have to tell me that. I live in New York with half of the fan base is Yankee fans, and they're in April they're requesting off for November 3rd for the parade.
Yeah.
So I've been living with that my whole life.
Exactly. You think the Phillies are afraid of the Braves? They proved it last year they can beat them.
Exactly. And there's something to say about playing, like you said, you're playing playoff games now the last 3 weeks, some of these teams, the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Phillies have had a little cushion. They've kind of been the higher up. But how about, let's give a lot of credit to the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, I know they do this every year. They're in it every year. They have a fan base that could care less about them. Nobody shows up to the ballpark. They won't even sell out the playoff games. Their shortstop, their star best player, is going to end up in prison and then never play again. And they still found a way, and they're going to still find a way to make it into the playoffs, into the tournament, and they still have an outside shot at the AL East title.
Well, yeah, you're right. And here's the other thing: when you get some of these teams coming in, you're looking at Baltimore. Somebody might be looking at somebody else. Everybody's looking at the Dodgers and Braves. But let me tell you, these teams are playing on house money. When they come in your backyard, they're supposed to be going home. And they roll one game, that first game, it changes everything in your backyard. All of a sudden, you go, well, wait a minute. We had a 17-game lead. We won the division. No, you're going to be going home in the next couple if you don't put them away.
Yeah, all it does is to lose a 3-game series. And they play them all. You're playing them all. And listen, the Mets lost it last year at their own ballpark. In 3, they lost the 3-game series, and that was it. It was over. 101 wins, right down the toilet.
Yeah.
And it was over
like
that.
An eye and what happened. Yeah, no doubt about it.
But that's what makes October baseball great. Every pitch baseball is made for that, because it's when every pitch matters, and it's so intense, and the intensity, and that's when the game being slow builds the intensity of the moment. And I love it. I love October baseball.
Well, and when October comes around, it's almost Pittsburgh Penguin hockey, baby.
We're getting there.
I got to get you a jersey to wear, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen. With the way the Jets and Giants are going, I said on my show last week, I said, thank God Rangers camp opened. I mean, I can't believe we're through. We're not even in October, and we're looking for the Knicks and the Rangers already.
The Jets haven't beat the Patriots in 15 times.
That's
gotta be what, like 7 years?
It's 7.5 years. It's 7 years, and they're not. And their coach continues to sit up at that podium. Listen, we aren't coaches. We're not professional players, but we know what we're watching. We know we're watching a guy, an incompetent quarterback who can't play the position. You have a good team. You have a good defense. You have good receivers. You have a solid running back. You have everything except the most important position in sports happens to be the quarterback, and they just have an incompetent guy there. And for some reason, he's sitting up there on the podium going, well, he's improving. He's getting better. His pocket presence. He has zero pocket presence. He's a disaster, and he's going to end up going down with the ship, and he's not going to get his chance, and he's not going to get his year with Rodgers if he loses 13 games this year, because he's going to lose his job.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. That's a whole thing, but the Eagles, man, they're clicking. But you know what? I took a bath. I mean, I really took a bath this weekend. Maybe that's why XM says I'm the world's worst handicapper. I had Colorado maybe to pull something. I had Denver.
We all had Colorado. We were with our hearts in Colorado. We all had Colorado.
I had Atlanta over Detroit. I thought Washington could pull one on Buffalo. I took a bath, man.
Washington came back down to earth. Washington came back down to earth. And how about Arizona beating the Cowboys? How good was that?
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
12.5-point underdog, and they went in there and they beat the Cowboys.
Let me tell you something. Dire straits. Something's got to give. We got Minnesota playing Carolina, 0-3 teams. Denver's playing Chicago, a couple 0-3 teams. 2 of these 4 teams, their season's going to be over this weekend.
0-3, your season's basically over already. 0-3, I read the statistic. It's like 2% you make the playoffs. 0-3, and that could there have been worse coaching than the Minnesota San Diego game? The guy I said if Kirk Cousins stuck the ball in the end zone there at the end of the game after your coach decided to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 18-yard line, I would have walked down there as the owner and fired the coach on the sideline before the game even ended. Because what are you doing? And then they do that. They miss it. The Vikings get a chance and they complete a pass, get a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line with 20 seconds left. And they can't get up to the line to make it to. They run one play and he throws a pick.
Yeah.
The coaching in this league is terrible.
I know you're pulling for Washington over Philadelphia Sunday.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Listen, Washington came back down to earth, all right? They finally played a team, and they finally played a team, and they lost. They got blown out at home. What was it, like 27-3, right?
37-3.
And then you got Miami hanging 70 on Denver.
Yeah, but Miami's like UCLA football. They always start off 4-0, 5-1, 6-2. once Thanksgiving comes around, we're the Dolphins every year. And look at their stat. They're like 1-30 when the temperature below 30 degrees.
Listen, if they couldn't win with Marino, they're not going to win with Tua. Right?
Exactly.
Am I right? I mean, come on. I don't care how many points you put up in September. Because
hey, you got to be you and Danielle are on center stage Monday night. Seattle and the Giants Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. I talked to Danielle. She was great. I love Danielle. She's sending some books to my wife and everything. It's great.
She's a great lady.
Yeah, she was great. I loved it. Now, Pittsburgh, the Steelers, are they for real, or are they just? I mean, is this quarterback for real? I know your coach is for real. Is Pittsburgh a good team?
Well, the offense is trying to catch up with the defense. That defense is something else. We've won the close games. So nobody practices that close type of atmosphere like the Steelers do. They've done that in the practices. They've done that in the preseason, and they know how to win them. You've seen two quick close games, Cleveland and Las Vegas, and now they go to Houston. So this ought to be interesting.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna be interesting. And the thing with the Steelers is they play 16, 17 home games, because the way those fans travel, you guys go all over the ball. You guys are all over the country.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, anytime you can fill the opposing parks 40% capacity in your favor, when you tell them to lower it down, they'll lower it down for you.
Yeah. But you're right. The Eagles look good. And the Eagles are the class of the NFC. And now the Cowboys had the big injury on the defense with what's his face, Diggs going down. I can't see anybody winning the NFC East besides the Eagles. And listen, now it gets good, Mark. Don't you go disappearing on me again. You know? Now
No,
good.
no, I'm here.
All right, good.
You know
good.
That. We've been traveling, doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, listen, I've been all over the place too, right?
You've been all over the place, man. God, these shows went by quick. How much time do we got? A couple minutes?
We got like 2 minutes. We got like 2 minutes, and then you're gonna go doing more radio, right? You're all over the place. You can find. Listen,
God.
if you need to find me or you, we're easy to find.
Yeah,
we're all over the place.
No, I am so blessed. I am so blessed to be a part of this New York thing with you, and I can't wait not only for the basketball when the Bucks and the Knicks get on, but when the Penguins and the Rangers get on, baby.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we gotta go. Oh, you're out in California. I forgot. When you come to Pittsburgh for your for Christmas or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so
the trip to New York is only like 4 hours.
Yeah, no, it's like 7 hours from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours to get across Pennsylvania. When you get to Philadelphia and you're like, oh, I'm in Pennsylvania. But then it's like going to Florida. You get to Jacksonville. You're like, oh, we made it. We got another 9 hours down to Miami.
Well, I can move. I can book it at 80 miles an hour on that turnpike.
Well, let's keep it safe here, Mark. We don't want to get you killed on the way over here.
No.
Now, listen. The Steelers, the baseball. Baseball this is it. Now, tell me something bad about the Dodgers before I let you go. Tell me why the Dodgers are going to lose.
I keep telling you, and somewhere along the line, you're going to believe me. They don't have enough to contend, and one of these teams is going to bite them in the ass. I don't know if it's the Phillies. I don't know if it's the Cubs. I don't know if it's the Brewers. But I will leave you with this thought. You're going to face 1s, 2s, and 3s in the playoffs. And let me tell you, the Brewers can throw 3 pretty much great guys at you in Woodruff, Burns, and Peralta. Good luck with that.
Texas and Seattle is the series to watch this weekend. It's going to be great baseball. Baseball is just getting started with October baseball. His name is Mark Mancini. Mark, I will talk to you next week.
I love you, man. Same time, a little more time, brother. Have a blessed one, and thanks for bringing me in.
Later, brother. Well, how about that? Mark Mancini, welcome back. I'm glad to see he's okay. I was getting worried. It's been a while since I've seen him. Like I said, keep an eye on that Seattle-Texas series this weekend. It's going to be, Seattle has lost now 4 in a row. They have had wild winning streaks of like 13, 14 games. And then now they've just hit the wall. They're now losers of 4 in a row, but they get a chance at redemption because they are home a 4-game series against Texas, and it's going to decide one of the wild card spots. And it's going to be a great series, and that's what I'm going to be keyed on. But I'm also going to be keyed on the Mets and the Marlins this weekend, starting tonight. Not this weekend, I'm sorry, starting tonight. Mets, they've been playing well against the Marlins. It looks like we'll see. Can there be spoilers? The game's out at Citi Field. Am I going to go to any of the games? No, probably not. I don't really care that much at this point. Not to go sit out there in the 60-degree weather. It's been raining here for the last 2 months. It feels like. So as far as that's the baseball situation. The Yankees are 2 games over 500. Listen, I told you what's going to happen with the Yankees. They're going to finish 81 and 81, and nobody's going to they're not going to they're going to keep their streak alive just because they're the Yankees, and they're going to keep Boone. They're going to keep Cashman, and it's going to be status quo going into next season. You're going to have uproar for 3 weeks from the fan base about why are we doing this, why are we keeping it. They'll sign some free agent, and then they'll be back, and the Yankee fans will be back, asking off in April for the November 3rd parade that's coming. That's just how it goes here. That's just, you could see that coming a mile away. What are the Mets going to do? I don't know what the Mets are going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Buck. I don't know what they're going to do as far as pitching goes. Kodai Senga has been brilliant here in the second half. He deserves the NL Rookie of the Year, or at least a very, very close second. He deserves some Cy Young votes, which I believe he will get. He deserves to be the opening day starter next year for this team, and hopefully the Mets can add a pitcher or two, because otherwise it's not going to be pretty. We're going to be watching a young team with no pitching, and they're going to lose a lot of games. So, but we'll see. We have all the money in the world to spend. Mets can go get whoever they want, right? They got the money. That's why we got Uncle Steve. That's why we wanted him. As far as Buck goes, I keep him, don't keep him. Listen, I think you should just keep him. He's not the reason that this team's losing. If he wants to stay and manage this team another year, give him another year, right? We were screaming and yelling for Buck for 10 years. He won 101 games last year. He won Manager of the Year last year. Now this year, all of a sudden he has a down year, and we're ready to run him out of town. So give him another year if he wants to. If he wants to leave, I could live with that as well. It is what it is. We're going to find that out. Alonso looks like he's signed. That's going to be taken care of. They agreed on the money. They're just a couple years apart. That's going to get taken care of. I'm not worried about that. So now let's get to my buddy, my fellow correction officer. The name of the show is Locked Up Sports, right? We haven't had a correction officer on here besides myself since the inception almost 2 years ago. We're coming up on 2 years now. So we got one. I got a good buddy of mine. He's one of the best COs you'll know. He's one of the best correction officers in the business. And just so you know, it's correction officer. Okay, I know a lot of the media outlets will call us guard. It's not guards, all right? We're not guards. We're officers. So just remember that next time you hear that, correct somebody, please, because we gotta get that out there. I don't know why they call us guards, but anyway, his name is Carlos Sanchez. He is a correction officer. He is a diehard Jets fan. He knows what he's talking about. He's not going to be in a great mood. I don't blame him. Here's my interview with Carlos Sanchez. Enjoy the interview. All right, so now we'd like to welcome in a special guest, someone I have worked with. We finally got a correction officer on the show with us. There he is. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Bobby, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? So my boy here came out of the academy with me. We've been in, as we say, we've been in the shit together for a bunch of years. You're now he's chilling a little bit at a little easier facility, but he went through it with me. So how's work? How's everything going? Introduce yourself to everybody.
What's going on, guys? It's going good. Excuse my background here. I'm doing some work in my garage, but we definitely went through the shit together, buddy.
Definitely.
Tough days, good days, a lot of memories, but
a lot of hours.
Still kicking it.
Now the one thing that's not going good for you is the Jets. He's a big Jets fan. The Jets. Now tell me what did you, how devastating was it with Rodgers? Did you watch the game? Were you at work? Were you at home? Where were you when the season fell apart 4 plays into the season?
So pretty much, I'm gonna start from the very beginning as far as Rodgers. Back when he said, I believe in March it was, that he intends to play with the Jets. These moronic Jet fans, like I've been an avid Jet fan for so long. I don't care. I watch every single game. I don't care if the score is 42-0, close game. I'm invested. And after he made that announcement, after it became official, they're talking about they're winning the Super Bowl. How?
they're a good team. They're a good team.
They're a good team, but at the end of the day, why don't you guys reach for a winning season? Why don't you guys reach for making the playoffs? You turn on sports radio every single morning when I drive to work and every single night when I drive home. I'm hearing Super Bowl aspirations. The Jets going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to go on to undefeated. And they put so much pressure on themselves. And I have text message proof in my phone with my buddy Bobby. I said, Bobby, this is going to end catastrophic. Literally, I have message like proof on my phone right now.
Well, you know it's going to be. You know it as a Jets fan, but as a Jets fan, you expect the worst. Because I mean, listen, I know as a Mets fan, I expect the worst. I expected it to go bad this year. So you expect the worst. Now he goes down, and now all of a sudden you got, because you have a good team. Now the defense is not as good as it was as advertised, because you never get any turnovers. You don't get to the quarterback. You don't sack the quarterback. You got some good corners. You got a good secondary. But, I mean, they never really – but with Rodgers, they could have been a playoff team, and then with Rodgers, you could get there. Now you have – so now he goes down. You got Zack Wilson. Zack Wilson is I've been saying forever, Zack Wilson can't get you to the promised land. Can you see Zack Wilson going, in January on the road, he's got to go 80 yards in a minute and a half with one timeout to win a playoff game? Never. And it turns out he can't even get a first down.
Zack Wilson's not an NFL quarterback.
No, he's not.
I hate to say it.
You took him at the second pick.
I hate to say it, and I hate it's definitely not an opinion of mine that I just came up with, after Sunday or, when Rodgers went down, it was I almost laughed to myself. I did.
You had to.
I was just like, and there it is. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but I was beside myself. And the truth is that it really didn't hit me until like 3 days later. And then, I mean, just as far as Zack Wilson, he's just – the problem with Zack Wilson is he's an arrogant kid. He's one of those kids that he never heard the word no. He never had to work for anything. I don't know the guy personally, but I could just see it. He's one of these guys, like, the coaches are going to tell him to do something a certain way, and he's going to say, okay, I got you, and then just turn around and do it the same exact way he's been doing it.
Yeah, he's been riding his hot mom's coattails the whole way.
I mean, exactly. He's smug. He's arrogant. He's not a leader, and he completely lost the locker room last year after the Patriot game with his press conference.
Yeah, and now the coach is going to lose it too by keep backing him like he is, because we're all watching this. We all see what's going on. We all see that he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't pull the trigger. He's got receivers running free. He can't throw. He doesn't throw to them. Everything is a check down. And then you got the coach up there saying, I believe in him. He's our guy. But meanwhile, you believe in him, but your game plan is for just 3-yard dinks and dunks down the field and run the ball.
Absolutely. And it's funny, when it comes to Saleh, I hate to say it, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. Even if Rodgers was healthy and played the entire season, Rob Saleh is not the guy to bring the Jets to the promised land. That opinion of mine came from last year. It was the Jets versus the Jaguars, the Thursday night game. It was a really rainy game, but it was the most important game of the season for the Jets.
That's right. They gave up 19 points, right? And they lost.
And exactly. And that's when Chris Streveler came in at the end of the game, and
Streveler.
Oh my God! But I realized Rob Saleh is not the guy when I'm watching the pregame, and I see guys. I think it was C.J. Uzama. He shows up to the stadium wearing a bunny suit. Williams warms up on the field in a Grinch outfit. And I thought I was the only one that felt this way, but thank God Bart Scott, after the game, said what I was thinking. Who do you guys think you are? Like, who do you guys think you are? This is the biggest game of the season for you guys, and you guys are showing up in costumes and all. What do you think Bill Belichick would have did if that type of caliber game, game where you could really turn your season around, a chance to make the playoffs, and his players are showing up in bunny suits. What do you think Bill Belichick would have done?
Oh, listen. Bill Belichick wouldn't have any of this. You got your rookie kids saying stuff online on Twitter. Belichick doesn't stand for any of that. And what it is Saleh. Listen, Saleh might be a good defensive coordinator. He might be like there are guys who. Buddy Ryan is a perfect example. Buddy Ryan is a great defensive coordinator. He was an all-time. He went to become a head coach. He was with like the Cardinals, I think, and he was terrible. He can't lead the whole team and Rex Ryan to an extent did the same thing. He kind of focused on his defense a little too much, and it might have cost him a couple trips to the Super Bowl. But with Saleh to get up there and to get on the boat after we all watched that game this Sunday. Now it's 15 straight losses. It's been 7 years. It's you're heading right to 8 years because you're probably not going to beat him in Foxborough. And you get up there and you say he's improving. His pocket presence is improving. He has zero pocket presence. He had a phantom sack.
Yeah. I want to see where the improvements are because even when they were saying in training camp, oh, he's learning so much from Rodgers and he's being so much more confident in decision making, and then you see the product in the field. It's the same exact play. He's running backwards. He's trying to do this schoolyard. Dude,
Yeah.
You're not fast enough. You're not big enough, and you're not elusive enough to beat these guys out, to beat these DBs out. It's just not happening. And then his decision making is terrible.
His decision making is terrible, and he can't. Also, he's gun shy. He can't pull the trigger. Now here was this is the perfect example. The Jets. The crowd is going crazy at MetLife just this past weekend. The crowd is going crazy. Jets are down 5. They get the ball a minute and a half to go on the 40-yard line, which is tailor-made. Perfect. A dream. 2 timeouts. And the 4 plays they run are just, it's a disaster. I got a clip of it here too. It's the 4 plays that they run are just, he's not even close on any of them.
No.
Here it comes. He's not even close. Here it is. So they're just, it's one after the other. And then on 4th and 10, he throws a 4-yard check down to the tight end, and it's not even close. And I mean, look at these passes. Out of bounds by 5 yards. Then he runs. He almost gets sacked on 3rd down. He throws another 3-yard pass. It's not even close. Like, look, that one, again, not even close. And then the 3rd down and 4th down, he throws it 3 yards. When you need 10 yards, the game's on the line. He's throwing it 3 yards. The guy finally makes the catch. Yeah, checkdowns because that's all he can do because he doesn't see them in time. The NFL, you got to understand, you don't get wide open like you do at BYU. You don't have receivers running 3 and 4 steps past somebody. If they are like a fraction of a step ahead, that's open in the NFL. And I mean, look, there it is. And his QB, I mean, he's 18 of 36. He throws for 150 yards. It's a nightmare. The whole thing is just a disaster. And he can't be a quarterback. And you can't have your coach go up there and say, well, he's improving. He's getting better. He's getting better. Like, we all know this. We're not idiots. We watch football. We know football. We might not be coaches. We know football. And we know that what we're watching is not NFL caliber.
All you have to do is watch a game with the Jets. And then at 4:25 or whatever, just watch the Kansas City Chiefs. You see the speed difference. You see the Jets are like stuck in the mud. They're slow. Like they complete a pass. They want to go in the huddle and talk about it. Like, guys, even with like Tom Brady before he retired, he's not in the huddle. Let's go, guys, get to the line. We're moving here. There's no reason to. What are we talking about in the huddle? Let's go. Like I just want to know what they practice or what they like their game planning. It's just terrible because if I take clips of Rex Ryan when he out of nowhere became this humble Rex Ryan, you know what I'm talking about? When the year before he got fired.
Yeah, because he knew he was going to get fired.
He just became like this weird, humble dude. It was very odd, right? So you got Rex and Sanchez on the decline. Then you had Todd Bowles and Sam Darnold or Geno Smith, whoever. it's like each coach, Todd Bowles, I'm not even going to include Gase, but Todd
Yeah,
Bowles,
getting
Saleh, Rex Ryan, it's almost like they all read from a script at the end of the game. Well, we couldn't get the running game going. So if you know you're not getting the running game going, at which point do you say, hey, guys, I think we should switch up the game plan here?
Well, because you don't have a quarterback. None of them had a quarterback. Mike Westhoff on this very show sat here and told us that the reason they didn't go to the Super Bowl either of those 2 years was Mark Sanchez. And Mark Sanchez was good. Mark Sanchez could get you there, he's serviceable. and you'd kill now to have Darnold back, right? Yeah, that would be amazing for you to have Darnold back. But yeah, you got Nathaniel Hackett, who is a terrible, terrible play caller, and he's just there because he came with Rodgers. Rodgers, I'm bringing my guy. And you got Dalvin Cook in the backfield, who clearly just doesn't care anymore because he came here to play with Rodgers, it seems like, and now he's just like, well, Rodgers not there. I'm just going to get my paycheck. So you got half the team that quit. Now the defense is going to really start. You saw Garrett Wilson starting to get a little heated on the sideline this weekend. You're going to see now the defense he's going to lose the defense because the defense is going to be like, why are we going out there breaking our necks trying to hold this team? They gave up 1 touchdown against New England that last week. They played good enough to win. Why are we going to do this if he can't even get a first down?
Right.
We're breaking our necks and we're 3 and out and we're back on the field.
Right. Anybody that has played football in their lives, as far as like from the high school level up, football is a very emotional sport, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The New York Jets defense do not want to play the Zack Wilson. They don't. And
they made that clear
the guys
last year.
over there. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to play for him. So when you're constantly on the field, constantly causing 3 and outs, constantly getting stops, and then you sit down on the bench for maybe 2 minutes, and then you're getting right back up. It's an emotional sport where that passion, that hey, you know what, we're gonna go out there and do it for this guy. Oh, they're just not doing it, and it just
kills any momentum you have. Like you get the Jets defense got 2 big 3 and outs from New England in that game in the fourth quarter.
Huge.
Set him up, put the ball on a tee. The ball on the 40-yard line, a minute and a half, 2 timeouts. And like you said, you look at the Chiefs go, when you look at like the Chiefs-Bills playoff game, it's like a basketball game. They're up and down the field. A minute and a half, there would be 4 possessions.
It's a different speed. But going back to what you were saying about Mark Sanchez, like the Jets right now are in this very similar situation as 2009, 2010. And I could also compare that situation to Brock Purdy's situation with San Fran. You have a great defense, a great running game, and you have weapons. Your only job as a quarterback, as a quarterback for the New York Jets right now is just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, but he doesn't turn it over. He's so bad that he doesn't turn it over. And there's still he can't even get a first down.
I mean, he threw 3 picks against the Cowboys. I mean, it was a lot of it was in garbage time, but still. But it's just, I'm saying pretty much the Jets need to bring a guy in, and I have the guy in mind, by the way. But the Jets need to bring a guy in.
Is it Kirk Cousins?
No, it's not. No, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Remind me about that. But the Jets need a guy where it's like, listen, buddy, have a seat. We don't need you to throw the ball 45 times a game. We need you to throw the ball, maybe I would say complete between 17 and 22 passes. Throw for 220 yards, maybe a touchdown. If you're feeling good that day, maybe 2. Just don't turn the ball over and make good decisions. And then you do know that they have this Zack Wilson army, as there's a certain percentage of the fan base that truly believes in Zack Wilson. And they say, well, the offensive line isn't protecting him. And they say, oh, yeah, he was never given a fair shake. Well, how much do you guys need to see?
No, he's terrible. He's all you have to do is be a competent quarterback. Okay? Competent. Mark Sanchez competent. Trent Dilfer when he was competent. And he can't even be competent because he sits back there. They gave him the offensive line played okay the other day. They weren't terrible. They played okay. Now but he sits back there and he's incompetent. He's lost. He doesn't. The guys are open. He doesn't throw it. When you can see him. He holding himself back from throwing it. He's completely incompetent. It's sad that they even keep running him out there. Now, I was screaming and yelling the other day. I was like, and I'm not even a Jets fan, but it's frustrating to watch. I mean, watching that game. I mean, God forbid you went to that game. It was hard enough on my couch watching it. Imagine sitting in the rain for 3 hours and in the parking lot for another 2 hours. Oh, forget it. I'd be killing somebody. I'd be pissed.
Absolutely. If you play those clips again from Sunday, if you just don't look at the throw, don't look at the offensive line, don't look at where the ball ended up. Just look at his body language. Just look at Zack Wilson's body language here. He's playing literally scared. It's so like scared, nerve-wracking. Like his confidence is just not there, and I kind of understand why. But it's like, buddy, you had 2 opportunities that game to win Jet fans back. You had 2 solid opportunities to drive down the field and really, really okay, win this game, break the streak of the 0-14, and sports radios going to talk good about you. Maybe they're going to start considering giving you a second chance in their minds. And then this Zack Wilson on, he's like, yeah, well, how did he look on that touchdown drive? He was whatever he was,
the
7
touchdown
for 10,
drive
86 yards.
The
That
touchdown
was a
drive should have
regular
been a
NFL
touchdown.
drive, bro.
They stopped them. They stopped them. There was a penalty in the end zone that kept the drive going. So they stopped them.
But even so, look at the stats of that drive, Bobby. That's an average NFL drive.
Yeah. Listen, and it was at the time of the game where New England's up 2 scores. It's the fourth quarter. They're willing to trade yards.
They're falling back.
They're willing to trade yards for time. And that's what they did. So they'll let you march down the field, then we'll stop you in the red zone, is what they say. And they stopped them, except the guy made an idiot play, throwing the receiver down in the end zone, and the Jets got the ball on the 1-yard line and they punched it in. So that wasn't even a touchdown. And they'd be 0-4 or 0-3 if it wasn't for the Bills turning the ball over like crazy and getting a punt return in overtime. They should be 0-3 because they were down in that game too. I mean, it's a hopeless thing, and I feel bad for the Jets fans.
I do. Week 1 was more, and some people hate this kind of quote, but week 1, the Jets didn't win that game. The Bills lost that game.
Yeah, they did.
It was one of those things where, one of the picks with Josh Allen was like, dude, why are you even throwing that ball? Like, it's very odd. But, when it comes to this kid, Zach, it's redundant at this point. It's the definition of insanity. You keep sending this kid out there. You know what he's going to do. You know that and he does the same thing. It's bad play after bad play after bad play, and then he'll throw one nice pass and kind of reel you back in.
Yeah, but he doesn't reel you back. He never reels you back in, right? You never sit there and say
me no. But when I'm with Jet fans, oh yeah, what a pass! If you're getting this excited over a completed pass, that is the problem.
Yeah, it's bad.
That tells you all you need
incompetence.
to know right there.
The Jets have everything on that team except the most important position in sports, and all they need is a competent player at that position, and they have complete incompetence. And the coach is going to go down with the ship, and he's going to lose his job if he keeps backing this guy. And now he might get saved, maybe because Rodgers likes him, so maybe he gets saved. But he's not even going to get his year with Rodgers, because if they lose 13 games this year, he's gone. You can't bring him back. His record right now is 12-25. You can't bring him back if he loses 13 games this year. So he's going to go down with. He's going to go down with this quarterback.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, because I actually just said that to my buddy. I was like, it's almost like he's the captain of the ship and he's going down with it. The ship is sinking. He said, I'm not going to lifeboat. I'm going down with my ship. And I feel like he's doing that because of Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas and Rob obviously picked Zack Wilson at number 2. And I understand and respect the fact that, you want to give your number 2 pick each and every single opportunity you can. But what else do you got to see?
You know what? Why don't you look at the 49ers? The 49ers picked their pick number 1. All right?
Mr.
They saw he wasn't doing it. They dumped him. They got Brock Purdy, and now look at them. Now they're a Super Bowl contender.
Yep.
So they admitted their mistake. They dumped the player. They got Brock Purdy in there, who's serviceable. He's not a great quarterback. He's not Tom Brady. He makes him look good because he's got a great team around him. And the Jets have a good team. Now their defense is, I think, a little overrated because they never get that drop pick 6 against Dallas, and they never get a turnover. They don't get to the quarterback enough. But still, they have a good enough defense where they could win games with a serviceable quarterback, and he's not serviceable. Now, what do you think about Joe Namath coming out and making all these comments? No, I didn't take it anything out of positive. He's going crazy. So I don't know if he's drinking again or not, but he wants him out. He's saying he's blaming the coaches now. Do you still listen? Do the Jets fans still listen to Namath?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he's drinking again. I think that there's certain people like Greeny on sports radio, Joe Namath. I think they're just Benigno, they're just accepting the fate. You can't keep giving this kid excuses after excuse after excuse. You just can't do it. And Joe Namath was an advocate of Zack Wilson. He was like, loved him. Like you said, loved him. He was his number one fan. There comes a point where you're just like, all right, you know what? I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, I think that.
And a lot. And after so I've been saying this since last year, but after Sunday, a large portion of Jet fans are really finally come to terms like, okay, listen, he's not the guy. But like you said, the 49ers saw that, Lance wasn't the guy. They got rid of him. The Jets are putting a Band-Aid on the gunshot wound. Like,
they don't want to admit their mistake. They don't want to admit their mistake. Listen, it was a mistake. He screwed up. He stinks.
Listen,
he
Joe
stinks.
Douglas,
get him out.
You have last year. You drafted the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. You drafted Breece Hall. You made these moves to get weapons this year, et cetera, et cetera. Just take the L with Zack Wilson, man. Just take it. Your legacy is not going to be affected that bad.
The problem is a number 2. Now, not everybody that does this gets lucky with a Brock Purdy. If you screw up if you screw up that pick, which the Jets did, if you screw up that pick, and they screwed it up twice because they screwed it up with Darnold too. If you screw up a top 5, top 10 pick with a quarterback, you set your franchise back 5-10 years. So it's hard to get over that. But still, you have no choice. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. Listen, it's not getting better. We were here last year. We were here at the New England game last year when they lost on the kick return, on the punt return. We were here at the Jacksonville game last year when they lost, when they needed to win. And now we're here again. And the season's not over yet. Listen, you're 1-2. Okay? You have a decent team. If you get a decent quarterback in here, you could salvage the season, have a reasonable season, maybe contend for a playoff spot. But you can't just sit at that podium and be like, oh, he's our guy. We're confident he's getting better.
Exactly.
When we all watching the damn thing and we all see he's not getting better.
No, that's exactly it. It's early now. And Rob Saleh in the press conference said, it's still early. Okay,
it's gonna get late. It's gonna get late real fast, though.
Rectify it while it's still early, brother. And then I wrote down this quote that he said on Sunday. He was really getting badgered with Zack Wilson questions, and the defense looked great. This, that, third. He's like, well, the defense's job is to not allow any points. Rob. Thanks.
He's a defensive guy, so I'm surprised he's even saying that.
He said that, but I'm watching it. I said, yeah, well, your offense's job is to score points, because if your defense allows 0 points and then your offense doesn't score any points, you don't win.
The Jets got 12 points. You're not winning any NFL game with 12 points.
He's
10 points, whatever it is.
Yeah, especially Sunday. He's defending Zack Wilson in such a weird way. It reminds me of how Rex defended Mark Sanchez and how Bowles defended Don. It's very odd. I don't know what it is. It's extremely odd. It is.
It is. And you know what? It's early. Like you said, it's 1-2. You're early. This is rectifiable, but it's going to get late fast because you got Kansas City, you got Denver, and you got the Eagles. There's no way you go into the quarter into Kansas City with either Zack Wilson or Trevor Siemian, who they brought in for a workout today, neither of them are going in there and beating Kansas City. Let's be real, and they're not beating Philadelphia either. And Denver's on the road. Denver's a tough place to play. I know Miami just hung 70 on them, but this team can't score points. So because they also scored, what was the final like? It was like 70-30, right? Jets don't put up 30 points, 25, 20. Jets still don't put up 20 points.
No, you'll never see that. But I highly doubt the Jets will send out a new starter on Sunday. It's a bad taste because if you let's just say they send out Trevor Siemian on Sunday and they lose, they get smoked, which they're going to anyway. But
yeah.
Now it's like you take away that extra hope from the Jet fans of hey, maybe we'll get a guy and he'll make a move. And Zack Wilson's going to start on Sunday.
Yeah, which is well, he is now.
He's being thrown to the wolves. He's being thrown to the
time.
wolves on Sunday.
He's not enough time. Even he came in for a workout today. He has not enough time.
They could have all the time in the world, Bobby. They could have all the time in the world. It could be a bye week, and they're not playing Kansas City till next week. Zack Wilson is starting against Kansas City because they're not going to take that faith that them getting a new starter right now is like grabbing the last branch before you hit the ground. It's disgusting, and I have the guy. I know who can turn this team around. Kirk Cousins was thrown around the other day.
Yeah, but they're not going to trade Kirk Cousins. I agree with you. Kirk Cousins would be the perfect guy. They're not going to trade Kirk Cousins.
He would be the perfect guy because he's in the second year of his. He's in the last year of his contract. Next year,
it's a rental.
So he would be the perfect guy because here you are. You sign a decent, decent quarterback.
Good quarterback. Top 10.
Good quarterback. You don't know if Rodgers is going to be ready to go next year. That's still a mystery. Like the guy's
talking about coming back this year.
And that's another thing that I wrote down here. This whole thing with I'm going on ESPN and seeing quotes from Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Why are we even paying attention to this, dude? You were a Jets for you were a Jet for 4 seconds. Like why is he even being interviewed? Why?
Yeah, because it was right after, and he goes on Pat McAfee every week. Yeah, that's his boy. That's how Pat McAfee got his name basically out there.
Yeah, you're right.
But Rodgers did everything right. I thought he was going to come here and be a weirdo because he's weird. Rodgers is weird with his vaccine and with everything. He's weirdo. So now he came here, he did everything right for months. He was at the Knicks for playoff games. He was at the Rangers playoff games. He was saying the right things. The Lombardi Trophy looks lonely. Everything right. And then for it to happen like that. And now, you're right. Listen, they're not beating Kansas City. They're not beating the Eagles either. So you win that one game. Let's say they beat Denver. So now you're what? 2-4. 2-4 is still not dead. But Trevor Siemian's not the answer. He's not. I don't think he's he's better than Zack Wilson. But me or you could be better than Zack Wilson.
At this point, I would give him my best shot just for my mental health with this team. But I heard rumblings about Justin Fields today, and I said,
we're with the Bears. Right? They're going to get rid of the Bears. The Bears are somehow there's a team worse in worse shape than the Jets, and it's the Bears.
Yeah, they are. But it has to, with Justin Fields. It has to do something with the coaching because last year, towards the end of the year, he was like the number one fantasy quarterback. Guy was running all over the place. He was rushing in 3 touchdowns, throwing 2 touchdowns, doing great. Now the guy is out there, he's lost. It's almost like they're trying to change his game.
Yeah. You've seen it from him before.
Yeah. Last year.
Yeah. Zack Wilson, you saw one game, right? One game. He played one good game somewhere in there. I think to Jacksonville or something, in Jacksonville, right? I think he played one good game. But this is the number 2 pick. This is the biggest. This is the worst pick. This is the worst pick since Jamarcus Russell. This is the worst quarterback since Jamarcus Russell.
Ryan Leaf.
It's the same thing. Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus. It's the same thing. They're both number 1 picks. Ryan Leaf was a drug addict though, so that's a little different. But yeah, he was just as bad.
I think I'd rather that Zack Wilson be a drug addict than actually.
Well, yeah, instead the Jets fans are becoming drug addicts.
literally. But Bobby, the guy that can save this team this year, and I don't even understand how they haven't called him yet, is a gentleman named Nick Foles.
Yeah, I get it. Nick Foles is definitely serviceable, but he's older now, right?
He's 34. You think he's old? Oh, he's 34 years old, man.
Okay,
34 years old.
Okay, but he hasn't played. When was the last time he played? Did he play last year?
I think he was a backup last year.
Yeah. Well, that's what he
But
is. He's a
listen,
backup. His claim to fame is going to the Super Bowl with the Eagles as a backup.
correct. And
So
that team had half the talent that the Jets have this year, and he finished the season with them and won a Super Bowl. Beat Tom Brady at that.
yeah, beat Tom. Yeah,
Why
beat
not?
Tom Brady. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
listen, it's
why not?
better than it's better. What about Mike? Would you have won? Because Mike White went into he got into the Dolphins game the other day, and he threw a touchdown. Were you a Mike White believer?
I was a Mike White guy. Not to the extent that he's the moron Jets fan
No, but
percentage that we
we
have.
were all rooting
But
for him because you had a great story. You had to root for him.
my thing was that he just seems like one of those guys that's just always going to get hurt. Always going to get hurt. The game, it was his first year with the Jets. I think it was against the Colts. He comes in to save the day, and then it was something. He hit his hand on someone's helmet, and then it was like
That's exactly
sensation
what
on
it
his
was.
arm. Yeah, and then I mean, listen, don't get me
But he had
wrong.
that great game. He threw like 400 yards, right? 3-4 touchdowns out of nowhere.
He beat the Bengals, man. Yeah, and the Jets were like 14.5-point underdogs that game.
Yeah.
That game was wild.
And what annoyed me about the Jets fans is the ones that were now it was never a possibility. He was never gonna. I'm surprised he even came out and said I'm not doing it. Was Tom Brady? Why don't we go kick the tires with Tom Brady? And I said just as a Jets fan, do you, even if he came in and won the Super Bowl, do you really want your Super Bowl, your savior, to be Tom Brady? Yeah, I couldn't live with that. I couldn't live with that as a Jets fan. I couldn't live with that as a Jets fan. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. That's
For
something
me,
that
as a Jet fan,
you take it.
I hate Tom Brady, but I respect him.
Well, you have to. You have to.
I respect him, but the fact that you even entertain that, it's like, God, oh man, that
I'm
would
surprised
be
he even
ultimate,
answered.
like,
He even came out and
yeah,
said, "Yeah, I if I was a Jets fan, I wouldn't want that. Like, I don't want I don't want Chipper Jones to come to the Mets in 2003 and all of a sudden just rip it up and win the World Series for the Mets. I don't want that. I hate Chipper Jones. I like to hate Chipper Jones. You like to hate Tom Brady.
yeah, exactly. You live to hate him. It's a part of it's a part of your fan base is to hate certain
Yeah, it's
people.
part of your being.
It's part of being whatever fan of a team you are.
And what
For
do you
them
do
to
when
even.
what do you do
I'm
when you
sorry,
get to
go
the playoff? What do you do when you get to the playoffs and Rodgers says I'm good? And Brady's like, "Well, I got us here."
He's like,
That's a problem. Not even Jets
you're
fans would
good.
take.
Well, I'm good too, and you could have a seat right there. That's what Tom Brady.
Well, hey, listen. You were talking about Zack Wilson. You would take a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers quarterback controversy any day of the week as a Jets fan.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I
Yeah.
haven't seen the quarterback since Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Tom Brady be
Fitzmagic.
banging Zack Wilson's mom. He's like, "I'm banging your mom, kid. Sit down."
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh
Wow.
man. Now what do you think? Okay, so we've established they're not beating Kansas City either way, right? So now is this thing just gonna nosedive and go? Are you gonna win 3-4 games, or do you see them getting somebody in here, Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins? I don't think they're gonna trade Kirk Cousins, because when was the last time you saw an 0-3 team that was in the playoffs last year? Now 0-3, you don't make the playoffs, so you're basically out. But trade their quarterback, their franchise quarterback, and give up completely on the season? Or do you want to see the Jets maybe tank it real bad? Maybe, just maybe, finish worse than Arizona, who beat the Cowboys, and get that number one pick. You get the kid quarterback, and then he sits for a year or two behind Rodgers and then takes over. I mean, is that even in the conversation now?
It is, but if you look at the Jets schedule, I think it's the first 9 or 10 weeks. Like, it's ridiculous. If you go down the list, so you got the Chiefs, you got the Broncos, Eagles, then you got the bye. Giant game is always going to be a tough game just because of
Yeah.
the rivalry and the emotion behind that. Then you got the Chargers. I think that Herbert's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL right now, but
Yo,
that's
no,
still going to be
really?
a
Oh
tough
no,
game.
yo, no, you're dead wrong. Herbert's a great quarterback. I love Herbert. No, I think you're wrong.
Nah,
Really? You think
he
he's overrated?
doesn't have me. He
I
doesn't
mean, the
have me sold,
coaching in
man.
that game, the other day was atrocious. The fact that they tried to
Of
go
course.
for it on their own 15-yard line, up 4 points or whatever it was outrageous.
Yeah.
I would, if I was the owner and they let Kirk Cousins stuck it in the end zone instead of throwing the pick, because it was just as bad
Right.
with the time management on the other end. If he would have stuck it in the end zone, I'd go down to the owner and I'd fire the coach right there, because you can't go
Yeah.
for it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Punt the ball away.
At that moment, I was glad. I said to myself, "Okay, I'm glad it's not just us.
I
I'm
couldn't
glad it's
believe
not
it.
just the.
Come on.
I'm glad it's not just the Jets coaches that just make these most ridiculous decisions. But Kirk Cousins is not coming here because he has a no trade clause in his contract. He already used the Jets as leverage when he first went to the Vikings to begin with. If you remember that,
Yeah.
he
Okay.
was
Yeah.
using
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was coming to
was
the
using
Jets, and then yeah.
He
only
pump faked as if he was going to the Jets, and then the Vikings jumped out the window with his contract.
The only two games I see right here, and on these games here, that the Jets could win right now, and they probably still wouldn't, is Denver and the Raiders.
We're not
I
beating
mean, maybe
them
they
either.
beat the Giants. Maybe they beat the Giants. Well, because Carr might be out, right? I haven't heard what happened with his shoulder.
Carr might be out, but we always have a tough time with Denver anyway, for whatever reason. It's weird. But
yeah, it's crazy. So what do you
and
think?
you said who, the Giants?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they could beat the Giants. Listen, the Giants aren't very good either.
No,
You know, I mean, they're better right now. They're not a better team. The Jets are a better team than the Giants.
On paper, yes.
Yeah, well, they're a better team. They have a better defense. They have better receivers. They have better running back. They have everything's better. But the quarterback will sink you. And our quarterback's not nothing to write home about either. I'm not a Daniel Jones. I'm not praying at the altar of Daniel Jones either, because I think the Giants overachieved last year.
Absolutely, they did. Saquon was a big part of it, but I'll tell you this right now: you put Daniel Jones on the Jets today, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah, probably.
They're making the playoffs. And backtracking quick, as far as their defense, I agree the defense is overrated. However, I will say, as of now, so far, they are better than last year, because last year the defense was very good. However, in big moments, they always shit the bed.
Yeah, and they got those two big stops. Those were big stops this week.
One example from last year is it was against Detroit. 4th and 3. Detroit goes for it in the fourth quarter. The Jets let up a 7-yard pass, I think it was, to the tight end. I forgot his name, on Detroit, and he took it 54 yards for a touchdown. It was a lot of big moments like that where they just didn't get the job done. And so far, outside of the Dallas game, in big moments where they trying to keep themselves in the game, they've shown up this year. They really have. It was good.
Yeah, they get off the field on third down when they have to, but then they're back on the field 3 plays later, and that's what kills them. And they're gonna start to get pissed.
This guy. This is what I want to say. I'm sorry. The guy, Mekhi Becton. Jesus Christ, they got to send this guy somewhere. Just put him in a car and just tell him to keep driving. I don't understand the size of that guy and the strength behind, and he's just letting guys blow right past. I honestly think he's too big for the position, if that makes any sense.
I mean, you got good. This defense reminds me a lot of the defense with the Sanchez teams, with the Rex teams. You had the great corner. You had good pass rush. You had a good defensive coordinator and the Jets don't blitz. I mean, they're not blitzing either. Like the Giants, I have a problem with the Giants. The Giants don't blitz. Last year, the way the Giants won games is Wink would blitz, and he would time it perfectly in brilliant situations, and he would blitz, and he would get to the quarterback. Now they're not doing it, and they get picked apart because they have 2 corners that are rookies, and that's a tough position to be a rookie.
Now you're leaving them one-on-one.
Yeah, they're on an island out there by themselves. They're gonna get burned a couple times. And the
And that
Giants
time
aren't
period,
good.
we had Antonio Cromartie too, brother. We
Yeah,
had
yeah,
Revis
yeah.
and Cromartie. Yeah.
Revis,
We
yeah.
had a Jim Leonard as our safety. We had Bart Scott. I love Bart Scott.
Yeah.
Harris. We had some real guys. And Bart Scott said it himself. If that caliber of team was in the Jet locker room today, especially after the press conference of Zack Wilson last year, Zack Wilson would have got beat up in that locker room.
Yeah, when he said, did you think it was your fault? He's like, no.
He's like, nah. He's like, nah.
Oh, did you
It's
let the
nothing's
defense
my
down?
fault.
Did you let the defense down? He's like, nah.
Yeah,
Like,
by
they didn't
not
move the
scoring.
ball.
He's
They
like,
didn't
nah,
move the
nah.
ball. Oh, the
It's
Jets
like,
are
bro,
terrible.
you had 77 yards, my friend. Like, where are you winning with this?
The
I don't
Jets
know.
are unbelievable. It was so classic, that I mean, I was laughing. I was like, I couldn't believe it because I root for the Jets. It's like Jets fans don't root for the Giants because we're the big brother. Just like I hate the Yankees. Yankees fans don't hate the Mets. You don't hate the
Yeah.
Mets, right? Why? Because we're not a threat. We never win anything. Of course. It's the same thing with the Jets. I root for the Jets. I'm a Giants fan. I root for the Jets. I was pulling for it. I was excited to watch Rodgers this year. I was excited to see it. And right there, four plays. It's so classic Jets, and I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. And I have to run because I do have somebody else coming on. But
All right, brother.
listen, stay safe. Great talking Jets, and I'm going to remember us Giants fans. We're rooting for you, and you let me know when you want to come on, and you come on. We'll get another. I'm going to get a Jet guy, a Jet. You know who I'm trying to get? I'm trying to get Bob with shoes in. So if I get Bob with shoes
that'd be
in,
great.
I'll get you. Come on. Yeah, I'm working on it, bro. I'm working on it.
Say no more. Absolutely,
right.
Bobby. It's a pleasure, man. Be safe.
My man. You too. Be safe, brother. Hell of a job. How about that? Carlos Sanchez. There he is, everybody. Stay safe, buddy. We love you. Jets fan. Listen, he's as depressed as anybody. You gotta be. How can you not be watching this? And how can you sit there and not want to just grab the coach and shake him and go, "What the hell are you looking at?" Don't lie to us. Don't insult our intelligence. They're telling us he's getting better. It's getting better. You just can't see it.
He's our unquestioned quarterback, guys. He's not the reason why we lost yesterday.
He is the reason you lost yesterday. His preparation is garbage. Nothing is showing. Robert Saleh is going to lose his job, and he's going to go down with the ship, and he's going to lose his chance at a championship with Aaron Rodgers next year. Maybe Rodgers saves him because I know Rodgers likes him. I've heard that, and maybe Rodgers could save him. But they lose 12, 13, 14 games this year. He is out. And right now, statements like that, when we all know it's not true. We all have seen it now for 2 years. You blew the pick. Just own up to it. You're not fooling anybody. Trevor Siemian, better than Wilson. That's all I got to say about Trevor Siemian. Right? I got nothing to say about Trevor Siemian. He's not a good quarterback. He's not taking you anywhere. He might win a game. He might be able to beat the Broncos, who just got 70 hung on them. So you never know. So that's going to do it for us here today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Brett will be back with me this weekend. Brett's another one. Listen, Brett's going to have to be talked off a ledge as well. All these Jets fans. The worst is that Brett and a lot of them are Mets fans too. But listen, keep an eye on that Texas-Seattle series this weekend. Okay, we're going to talk to you about this weekend too, but keep an eye on that. That's going to be wild stuff. I'd love to see the Reds somehow backdoor it in. The Marlins, I'm in an impasse. I wouldn't mind seeing the Marlins. The Rays are going to be in there. It gets good now. This is when baseball shines. So enjoy the games, everybody. Enjoy the winding down of the baseball season. We didn't get to Coach Prime. They got blown out. There's not much to say about that. Listen, right? They got blown out by a better team. Colorado wasn't going to go undefeated. We all picked them because we all, right here, we were with Coach Prime, and we were rooting for Coach Prime. So that does it for me. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you to Mark Mancini. Thank you to Officer Carlos Sanchez. Thank you for listening to us and watching us. Don't forget to give us a review, rate us, subscribe, tell a friend. Spread the word, everybody. I'll talk to you this weekend. See ya.